Welcome to the Block Party with Seth Kushner. Today, I am joined by a good friend, somebody that I always go to when I need somebody to talk to in a time of need and to make me feel safe. And today, we've got two-time Stanley Cup champ Chris Dingman on Zoom, on video, whatever. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Now, you should say I'm your backup plan. So when you can't get like a first-line guy, I'm like your go-to backup plan. But I'm okay with that. I know my role in society. I know my place on the team.
I told you, I said, you said, hey, what are we talking about? And I said, I just need you to say something crazy so we can go viral. That's what I was looking for, and that's why I came to you today. And you actually told me.
I'll make it a comeback.
You actually told me that you already have some conspiracy theories.
I do, yeah. I think I was planning to come back, and this whole COVID thing that came up, it was to thwart my comeback. So I've been training my kids, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I think I could play like 2 to 3 minutes a game, maybe 5 tops. So I think it's a bit of a conspiracy theory because, I didn't want my career earnings to get too high. So I did a Zoom call with a few of the 04 guys about a week ago. It lasted about 6-7 hours, and her buddy Andre Watt changed wardrobes about 8 times and sang a couple songs, so it was good. And then we talked about who's still getting paid July 1st or July 4th or whatever it was. And it was all the guys. It was a couple of guys that made the most money who get a check because they got bought out. So I kind of wished I would have got bought out.
Who are the guys that you were on the Zoom call with, Dinger?
It was like Freddie Moe, Taylor, Richards, LeCavalier, Andre Watt, Fedotenko, the trainers, Rambo, our old trainer Rambo, who's not anymore, but like Tommy Mulligan, Ray Phil. Marty, Dan Boyle, I think I mentioned him. No one's seen Boiler in a while, so to see Boiler, like he's like total recluse. Like he's like, I thought he'd be in like a tree hut somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but he was actually like in a pretty nice place to look like. Or at least the room he was in looked pretty nice. Or maybe it was one of those Zoom backdrops.
Is he still handsome, or did he put on like a ton of weight or something?
Dan Boyle?
Yeah, still handsome?
Well, in your definition, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, he's looking good. Yeah, all the guys looked. I tell you, we had a pretty good that 04 team. I think everyone aged pretty well. No one's. You never want to be one of those guys. So I remember when I first started doing TV and radio, I was traveling. I ran into a couple old teammates, and there was like 2 guys in particular. Derek Morris, who was a good guy. We were rookies together in Calgary, and then Dave Reed, who I won a cup with in Colorado. He was a veteran guy. I don't know if you remember those Bud Light commercials, but remember, the bubble hockey when everyone it used to be, everyone started being plastic.
Yeah.
And the old school tabletop hockey, like everyone was metal. It was like Bud Light, and he was like everyone in the commercials, like, hey, Rusty, he's the old veteran. So like everyone else was plastic, and he was a metal guy. So kind of called him Rusty because he'd cut his own hair. He'd do like a number 1 on the side and a 3 on top. But he was old school. Like he used the old wooden Sherwood, thing was like a 2x4. But anyways, so I ran into those guys, and so I ran into Dave Reed first. He's like, Dinger, how's it going? I said, oh, good, man. Like guys call me Dinger Dish. What are you up to? I said, oh, just doing a little TV, traveling, whatever. And he's like, wow, you actually look pretty good. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I thought you'd be like 300 pounds. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So then same thing, Derek Morris ran into him too. He's like, Dish, what's up? He was playing in Boston. I said, yeah, just doing some TV. He's like, yeah, you actually look pretty good. I'm like, Jesus, but what's this like? You actually look pretty good. He's like, I might be like, 280, 290. I'm like, oh my God, I got to start. Like, I got to keep working out because if I don't, like, I'll hit 280, 300, like in a heartbeat. So yeah, everyone's aged pretty good for the most part. So it was good to catch up with those guys, and these Zoom things are quite entertaining, or can be.
Any old stories that maybe you had forgotten about, or maybe never been told that was on that Zoom call from the other day?
Well, nothing I can tell you.
Oh.
I mean, let's be honest. No, I'm kidding. No, it was. I think it was actually good because Nigel. You obviously Nigel. Nigel's been there forever. The video coach. So yeah, he was on the call too. So he got the video. So we did this. They actually did like behind the scenes, or it was a mic'd up. A lot of people don't know this, but so they had all the chirping that was going on, and so we watched it like over the video. So we're fast forwarding, like, what about this game and what about that game, whatever and stuff. And it was like, God, it was so good because it was like a lot of a little bit of me, but a lot of Andre Watt and a couple other guys. And Andre was just, oh my God, small this, think of private parts, small that, you suck, whatever. Like, oh my God. So It was just stuff like that. And there was one guy that missed a practice and missed a flight that year. Won't name any names, but so there's just stuff like that. We're like, remember this? Remember that? Remember he missed the flight and then he showed up. But like it was all like there was a lot of Torch stories. So
But
obviously
Torch wasn't on there, was he?
But maybe they might try and get him. But he's a beauty. So a lot of Torch stories because there was always something with him. And that was the one thing. Like, so one of the stories is, I don't know if you've heard this, but like just like the Philly series. And Abby Boone was not good. He had a couple bad games, and I think we might have talked about this, but and it was like he wasn't playing good, and they were maybe not going to start him. They were going to go with Johnny Graham, but Johnny missed a flight or two possibly during the season. So
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but Johnny was a guy. He had that swagger where he missed a flight earlier in the season. We had a Super Bowl party, and he showed up to the Super Bowl party, and like we tried to the bus left without him, and so he shows up. Like, you talked to Torch? He's like, no, why would I? I'm like, I don't know. You missed the flight? Yeah. So like he was just like, yeah, so whatever. And like if that was me, man, I'd be crapping my pants and I'd be like going in there praying and all nervous. And he was like, whatever. And then they started. Torch was like, instead of yelling or screaming, he started on the next game and he had like 32 saves. We won 2-1 and whatever. But anyways, back to the old four story was that Torch was so good. If you watch his top 10 media scrums, like with Brooksy in New York, like, hey, Brooksy, why don't you go F yourself? You were just sour because you got beat up at the bus stop or whatever, like stuff like that. So he got in that whole thing with Hitchcock, like that, shut your yap and that. I don't know if you remember that. It was like on the front page of Philadelphia newspaper. It was a Yo Torty, shut your yap or something like that. So he took all the attention on him, and he liked having the attention too. Like, he's very good at manipulating the media, but no one was talking about how bad Abby Boone was the one game. And it was just like forgotten because it was like, you're not going to tell our coach to shut up. And, especially in Philly, like, you're not going to do anything. So, God, they were just venomous towards him. So that was one where it was one of those things where he was so good at deflecting and so good at taking attention away from other people and stuff like that. So that's one thing that, like, I think people are starting to realize more as we do these things and guys are retired and I guess maybe more comfortable to, talk about their playing days, but he was really good at, one thing he was really good at is crapping all over everyone. So the thing I liked about Torch is he would take a poo on anyone. I don't want to say any bad words, but he would crap on me, he would crap on Vinny, he would crap on, whatever. Like,
what do you say about you? What was some of the stuff that adjectives he would use about your game?
He never, it was weird. Like, so he would yell at me like, Dish, come on, I need this or that. Or but I remember one time I had 2 goals in 2 games, which for me was like a miracle. And because I didn't play that much and I wasn't allowed to toe drag or turn the puck over or anything. And so I had 2 goals in 2 games. And after the second game, we're going into it was Florida. And he's like, yeah, just want to talk to him. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, yeah, Andre's coming back from injury. So, we're going to you're not going to play. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we want to get more speed in the lineup. I'm like, yeah, but I get 2 goals in 2 games. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm talking to you. I just, how do you feel? I'm like, how I feel? Like, I want to punch you in the face. Like, we lost the second game 5-1, and I scored the only goal against Marty Brodeur, a Hall of Fame goaltender. Like, I'm thinking, like, you could just give me one more game. It's not like I'm going to score 3 goals in 3 games, but who knows? Maybe I might have. But there was another time where, like, I hadn't scored in 99 games, I think it was. Or 98 or something. It lasted over 2 seasons. And we're in Florida. And you ever heard of a guy by the name of Gordie Howe, obviously?
Yeah.
And the Gordie Howe hat trick. And
I think so.
Yeah. So we're playing in Florida, and our good buddy Roberto Luongo, who's a great guy, a little sneaky backhander on him. So a goal assist, and then got in a fight. Gordie Howe hat trick. Everyone's like, yeah. And Luongo was pissed, man, because years later, like during the lockout, I got to know him a little bit and talked to him. He's like, and he remembered that goal. He's like, that was garbage, man. You shouldn't have scored. That was a terrible goal. I was like, what are you talking about? That was sneaky, man. That was good. It was a good goal. So if you follow him on Twitter, Trombone, he's good. But so the Gordie Howe hat trick. And at the time, we were going into the playoffs or something, and we had a rotation going on. So it was like you'd play 2 or 3 games, and you'd come out of the lineup on the 4th line. So I knew we had the rotation, but we're going into Detroit, and I just had a Gordie Howe hat trick, so I figured whatever. And then on the board. I wasn't playing. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's dinner. You just had a dish. You just had a Gordie Howe hat trick." And Gordie Howe was in the locker room, so he's sitting there and he's got his little puppy, and like it's Gordie Howe, man. Like it's like there's certain guys like baseball or football or pick your sport where they're just monumental and they're just like, oh my god, that's like Mickey Mantle or pick your guy, like All-Star or whatever. Paid man, yeah, Jordan. Like we're watching that Last Dance, yeah. He's like one of those guys. So he's sitting there and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is there. You just had a Gordie Howe hat trick, whatever. So I'm like, oh, excuse me, sir. He was signing pucks for everyone, and like, hey, excuse me, sir, can you sign a puck for me? He's like, absolutely. So you had a Gordie Howe hat trick, and I was like, yeah. You see tonight? I was like, nope. And I was like, you're not playing? I was like, no. And it was kind of like, why not? I'm like, the rotation. And it was like, that means nothing to him because there was no rotation for a guy like Gordie Howe. So I shook his hand. So yeah, but whatever. So I shook his hand, and I have like decently big hands, but they're not like massive. And I shook his hand. It was like I had a little baby hand. Like we were watching Deadpool 2 last night, and obviously that movie, but when he got his legs ripped off and his legs were growing back, and that was one of the funniest parts of the movie. Like, oh my God, cover yourself up, and he's standing there, and he's got his little tiny legs. That's what my hand felt like, shaking Gordie Howe's hand. It was like a little baby hand. Like you think you got a big hand, you're this big guy, and you shake his hand. At the time, he was like 65, 70 or something. So he's a little bit older, but oh my God. Like it felt like if you wanted to, you could have ripped my arm off and beat me with it. So that was kind of neat. But the rotation, yeah. So I didn't get to play in Detroit, but whatever. I had a hot dog.
Those guys don't know anything about a rotation, especially from back then. I don't think they were rotating anybody.
Well, yeah, he played 5 decades. So yeah, he rotated through 5 decades. and when Mr. Howe wanted to play, Mr. Howe played. So it was a little. We were on a little different scale of
little level. Let me ask you this. Are you like some sort of like video producer, director now? I've seen you post, I think it started with a Tim Hortons video of you in the drive-thru and you got sparkly eyes. And then now there's all sorts of like videos you're making for Stout Gloves. Like, first of all, is this like a hidden talent of yours? And also, how long are these taking you to make?
Yeah. Are you hiring? Do you need a video guy? I make great videos. If you're gonna pay me anything more than I'm making right now, which is nothing, but no. Yeah, the first one took me about 2 hours. It's TikTok. So like my kids turned me onto it, and so my 11-year-old just abuses me. So when your kids get a little older, they go from sweet and innocent to they just verbally abuse you. Like, Dad, your videos are brutal. Like only 80 people viewed them and only 10 people liked them. Like, look at this guy. He's got like whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying stuff. Like I'm trying different things. So the beauty of this quarantine or whatever, isolation or whatever you want to call it, is that, the good thing is you got to spend a lot of time with your family. And the bad thing is you got to spend a lot of time with your family. Excuse me. Because so you have all these stay-at-home challenges and stuff. And so like I did my first, so I'm just trying to do some cross-promotional stuff, but like, I have a net and a shooting area for my boys in the garage. So I'm like, I'm going to use it. And I kept a stick. I tried to keep a stick from like every year I played. I have my skates from when I won in 2001, from 2004. I kept all my helmets. I got my old shin pads, elbow pads, shoulder pads. I mean, that's stuff going back to junior, like stuff my parents kept. So I've been starting to go through. So
how does it all smell?
Well, I did wash it. Yeah, I Febreze it. And I'm a big Febreze guy, and it's in the garage. So, but yeah, I was always our trainers were good, like Razor and the boys in Tampa. They were really good. They were because you don't want to be handling sweaty stuff all the time. It's not like having a kid. You're in the NHL, your stuff smells better than your clothes. Like I guarantee you, like the Steven Stamkos' gloves probably smell better than that hat you're wearing right now because they take care of the boys. He's a good tipper, so they take care of the boys. But anyway, so I found out this thing called TikTok. So like the first couple of videos I did, I was trying to get my 13-year-old to shoot pucks with me, and I'm like, let's videotape. He's like, you're not videotaping me. I'm like, boy, you're actually better than me. Like this is like a stay-at-home challenge. Like so they had all these different things like with like juggling a roll of toilet paper and stuff. So
dude,
I was doing that.
I saw you set up a dryer. Was it an old dryer that you set up outside?
Yeah, the Home Depot let me down. I bought a new washer and dryer about a year ago, and they were supposed to install and pick up, but they hadn't picked up yet. So I'm like, let's do something with this. So I was shooting into the shooter tutor, and I was trying sticks that were like literally like 18, 20 years old. Hang on one second.
Go ahead. You're good.
Yeah. No, just get baby's getting a little
I didn't
cranky.
know if that was my daughter or what. So.
No, that's mine. No, it's my little Willa.
Hi.
Say hi. Hi, baby.
Hi.
She's
Look,
a cutie.
I have a baby.
Yeah, that's Willa. She's pretty good. She looks like her mommy. Thank God. So anyway,
Your son looks like you though. He's got that long flowing hair.
yeah, we trimmed her down a little bit. So, but yes, thank you very much. I think they have a little bit of the good stuff for me. So anyway, so I was just trying different things, and so I'm trying these old sticks, like the old wooden sticks, and you don't understand technology until you go back and try and use something that you used 18, 20 years ago. So I was like, so I'm helping my brother-in-law sell gloves for Stout Gloves. So I'm trying the gloves out, trying some cross promotion. So I'm trying the gloves out. Yeah, so I just started trying, like, so I'm gonna see if I can still shoot, see if I still have it. So I kind of have it, but I don't. But whatever. So just started with that, and okay, how many in a row can I hit low blocker? How many can I hit top shelf? And I'm gonna try like new products with the gloves I'm selling, the Stout Gloves, and then try old sticks. And so I like, it's fun. Like the beauty of being at home is that you can tweet at guys. So like the yellow stick, that yellow Synergy, Marty St. Louis was so famous for using. Well, it started with a gray one, and there was two curves. There was a Sakic and a Jury, and that was it. And then they came out with the yellow Synergy. Like, hey, you want to try this? I'm like, sure, absolutely. So they give you 3 samples. Like, this is great. Okay, sure, we'll get you some. How many you want? So you're gonna order them, but it took me like a month and a half to get more sticks. You can't use the same 3 sticks in the NHL for a month. You can't use 3 sticks for like a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And so Marty got his sticks, and so I had to go with the blue CCM Vectors. So I pulled one of those out of the. I made a little thing where all my sticks are. So I pulled one of those out of the rafters and was shooting with them. So it was just fun stuff with old sticks and old product. And so I chirped at him on Twitter. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good at these. You only had like 392 more goals than me or something. And so and I remember his dad one time when we were at practice rink in Brandon. He's like, Chris, where did you get the stick? Where did you get Marty's stick? I said, well, to be honest with you, Mr. St. Louis, I had Marty's stick before him, but they wouldn't make me anymore. He was more of a priority, so he used them instead of me. So anyway, so yeah, we started with that, and then like I said, we had the washer and dryer that the Home Depot didn't come pick up for a year. So, and I remember something like Sidney Crosby when he was a kid in the basement. He used to shoot pucks into his parents' washer and dryer. So I'm like, said to my son, like, let's try this. It's, let's have some fun with it. It's an old dryer, whatever. We're not going to use it anymore, and no one will come pick it up. So, yeah, I put it on the driveway, and we set up our shooting mat, like, across the street. And we're, like, doing, like, 30, 40-foot sauces. And it's fun, like, to hear the sound it makes. So, it's just stuff like that. Just trying to, kill the time, have some fun with family, and do stuff, and have little challenges, and put music to it. So, I like the TikTok stuff. I really, I enjoy, just songs. Like I did a little Willa. There's my little baby Willa. She's a cutie. I love her. So I did a couple with her. Like there's one song. It was like, "You're my sugar plum, pumpy dum, pumpy umpy yum. You're my sweetie pie." I never heard the song before. And I'm like, okay, you put her to it. It's great. So just fun stuff like that.
So, all right. So I know that you're like Chris_Dingman_ on Instagram. So how do people find you on TikTok if they want to see these videos you're producing?
I think just Ding Dish.
Ding Dish?
Yeah, I wouldn't really call him producing. I just I try and put some I just try and put some wording to it, a little bit so that bling thing. So I figured out that, and there's a bling thing, the effects you can do, and then there's like a heart bling and stuff. So yeah, I did that. So I did one where my little baby had a little accident in her chair. So I was doing some product testing. So we got these rubber gloves that are kind of the thing now. So this is our MNT 0602. And
oh, wow.
Washable and reusable, and even tape can stick to it, as you can see. There's tape. I was fixing something. So anyway, so I was like, okay, like I got to clean up some baby poop out of the chair. So I did a video of me cleaning baby poop with the gloves, and you can wash them after, and it was good. So I did it to the Mission Impossible thing, like do. So I did one like that. So just trying to do a little promotion for the gloves I'm selling, and then some just fun. Just it's a good way. Like it's the internet can be really good, it can be really bad, and people chirp everyone, and everyone's got an opinion and this and that. But I'm trying to use it to just have some fun and connect with old teammates and fans, and like even like those the stay-at-home challenges. Sorry, it looks like it's we're in the forest here. We got this nice plant. I'm trying to lean my So like even these stay-at-home challenges and all these other things. So like just stuff like that. So there was a 500 squat challenge that someone nominated me for, and so I'm like, oh my god, I got to do this because I got nominated, and so I have to do it because I'm a competitive guy and whatever. And so we're all in the gym, my wife and I, my wife's in really good shape, and she's lost the baby weight, but I haven't, so we can all laugh about that. And so she's chirping me into my squats. I'm doing terrible squats, and I'm not going all the way down. I'm like, I'm just trying to do these because I got a bad back. I got a herniated bulging disc. My legs are killing me. I'm just trying to do them. Like, stop chirping me. Like, it's like being on a team again. Like, what are you doing? Those are terrible. Your form's awful. Look, you're not even keeping your chest up. I'm like, can you cut me some slack here? Like, I got to do 500 of these. So then I nominate someone else, like Roman Volpat, a guy played junior against some other guys. And just the responses was like, that was terrible. That was an awful idea because, like, as soon as I was done, I was like, this is going to suck. Like, the rest of the day, tomorrow, the day after. And then just getting the responses back even were great. Like, oh, my God. Like,
you had to do 500 in a day?
Yeah, within 24 hours.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So it's just fun stuff like that. So that's like the internet and TikTok and the videos. And so the beauty of having kids is they turn me on to these things. So I'm trying to stay hip.
You are.
I guess I think I'm a kind of a cool guy, but not to a 13-year-old. You know, when you're to a 13-year-old, you're, oh, Jesus, Dad, what are you doing? Oh, my God. Your TikTok video is terrible. You have no views, but.
Not even the Stanley Cup stuff? That's not even impressive at all to your son?
Yeah, I think it is. But he won't tell me. So they're at that age. They're not going to, like, even if it's cool, they're not going to tell you, like, whatever. I'm already better than you. Like, we're playing street hockey, and yeah, I know you're better than me, but I'm bigger and stronger, so I still have that. So if you're going to score on me, you're going to have to earn it. So you might get chopped. You might get a little body on you, but it's been fun. It's been good. I mean, it's just been a different experience with everything that's going on. But like stuff like this is fun to. Like I watched. They had like Marty and Freddie Bodine and a bunch of guys on, and Dave Anderchuk, and they're asking them questions. So then I was out yesterday. I was working, and people were like, "Oh my God, you're the mayor!" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I went and watched the video, and they're like, "Okay, who would be most likely to run for mayor or something?" I think Richie voted for me, so I was like, I had to go watch it. And then they're doing those replays, I guess, down there.
Yeah.
So then someone
posted. Have you seen, like, I'm sure over the years, have you seen a replay of, like, back in the day? I mean, they're showing clips from 2004, and it looks like you guys were playing in 1988. I mean, I can't believe how far. I mean, I know it was 16 years ago, but it looks like it was from 40 years ago.
Oh, that's kind of a compliment and insult all rolled into one. Like, that's what my wife said.
Great.
Oh my God, game was. She's like, the game was so slow. Like, Jesus, bro, it was terrible. But it was prison rules back then, so it was. Will's got to go bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining.
She's got to go work out. I'm gonna go work out after
500 squat challenge.
Yeah, no 500 squat challenge today. We're not doing. I did legs yesterday with the kids, so dogs are still barking. But yeah, so like it seemed like a long time ago. But when you get on video with guys, and like I said, when kind of some old teammates, you tell the stories. It was like yesterday. So there's certain things you remember, certain things you forget, and yeah, watching the video was like just that was old school. So I kept. So I'm kind of a hoarder. Like, I don't really throw anything away. So when we moved back to Edmonton, my wife made me throw a bunch of stuff away, like all my old CDs. So I had to like go through and manually burn them to our Mac because I'm like, I'm a music guy. And I mean, I had like 800, I don't even know. I had like 800 CDs or something.
You didn't know that Spotify was going to hit the scene, did you?
No.
Did Nigel set you guys up the other night when you were doing your like your 20-man call? Everything went smooth?
Oh, yeah. He had the video queued it up and fast forwarded through the certain parts. He was good.
Man.
We were like, can you turn it up? He's like, that's as long as it goes. He did a pretty good job. Nigel's good. He's really good at so stuff like that, even watching those old videos. So like online and replaying the games. And so like the beauty of being a hoarder, like we were talking about, is I don't throw anything away. And yes, no one told me about Spotify. So I manually like downloaded every CD I have, or at least all the good songs. And so I kept my old Xbox. I kept a game. I have a Game Boy Color, the old PlayStation. So the old, the original games, they had like Bill Clement and like, here we are at the game, and blah blah blah. And so you're watching, so you're replaying and you're watching 2004. And so that was like, I actually scored that game. So everyone's like, oh, look at this goal. And so I'm like trying to show my wife. She's like, what? I'm like, I want to show you something. She's like, what? What is it? What do you want? I'm like, I actually scored. This is like my one goal, the perfectly executed cross dump to Andre Waugh where he fired a laser. I got the rebound. So it was fun to hear like the old voices and stuff. But like, so you go back and I got to go back a few years to actually be able to play myself on. That sounds terrible, but play with myself? No. Be me on. Be me in a game. Be me in an NHL game. Sorry, I got to go back a long time ago.
So listen. So show me, what do you have as far as the stout gloves? Do you have any around that you can show me that you've been working with?
Yep, got the MNTO 602, great rubber glove, a piece of tape, the Oilers tape still stuck to it. I got to get that off. And then we have our mechanic series, which my kid was using. He was actually working in the yard with me, so got a little dirty. So it kind of looks like it, yeah. So we got that, and then we got Juggernaut glove too. So we got a bunch of different. We got leather gloves and stuff. So actually online, I sold a few pairs because I was offering. I was making a joke. I looked up so everyone has a lot of time on their hands. So I was looking up my hockey cards. And obviously I wasn't a very good NHL player. I was a really good youth player, but not a very good NHL player. I was above average or average, depending on who you asked. If you asked my parents, I was really good, but everyone else were like, he's not that good. So
you're the MVP.
Anyways,
to me.
Oh yeah, every game. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Me too. Every practice, I was first start.
You're the real great one.
Yeah, exactly. So just ask me. Anyways. What were we even talking about? I don't even know anymore.
I have no idea. I forgot. We finally got.
So my card. So I was looking at my card.
You were seeing how much they were going for?
Yeah, it was like $1.44 for a signed rookie card. So, which is a little. I was actually pleasantly surprised because I've seen it for less. So, I was doing a promotion. Yeah, so I was doing a promotion online, or not even. I was just messing around. So I'll tell you what, you buy $50 for the gloves. I'll throw in a signed card for you. So I actually made a couple sales and sold to a guy in Tampa. So he owns a tow trucking company. So I sold him. We have like a leather gauntlet that it's got an impact protection, has a gel pad pump. So actually made a few glove sales out of it. But just having fun. Like if you play sports, you got to have self-deprecating humor, and you might as well carve yourself before someone else can do it, because you might as well get at it before someone else can do a worse job. So just stuff like that, just having fun. That I'm happy the fact that I played hockey, and I was very lucky to play hockey and win Stanley Cups and be on good teams, and just having fun with it. Because you don't realize other people are like, wow, you played, it's cool. And you realize that, like, it is very cool to all the teammates I have and all the future Hall of Famers or Hall of Famers. I mean, I was lucky to play with Ray Bork, Rob Blake, Patrick Law, Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic. I mean, going down the line, and Mark St. Louis, Video Cavalier, Dave Anderchuk, just keep going. Like Javi Bull and Daryl Sador, like some great players. So
and they're saying they got to play with you.
Yeah, some do. Some really appreciate me. Well, when you don't play that much, you got to be entertaining. So we were talking about you got to get with Nigel one time and get him to play that video for you, the behind the scenes, because some of the chirping was really good.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Oh my God, Andre was very good at it. So a lot of that you can't, depending on where you're broadcasting, you can't hear a lot of that stuff because it's not necessarily PG. So it's one of those don't read lips. That's why I liked when I was doing TV that they always do the mic'd up, and it's so when they do it, it's tough because there's very few guys that are good at it that just go with it, because everyone's like worried, like, oh, great job, when I'm here, pass to me, and like trying to be all whatever. What we used to do, and when someone had a mic on, we'd just abuse them, and we'd just swear and just say like the worst, so they wouldn't have really anything to use. So they maybe out of some of it they would get something, but every second word was a swear word or F this or F that. So yeah, just stuff like that. Even too, we used to have fun with, and those are the things that being able to reconnect again with old teammates to do the Zoom stuff. It's it's been difficult with what's going on in the world and homeschooling, and trying to get your kids to do stuff is difficult at times, but it's also a blessing that you get to hang out and stuff like this. Thank God for technology. Like, can you imagine if Wi-Fi went down or cable? Like, everyone's like, oh, I can't do this or do that. Like, what if you were like, we've had a bad connection today, so you got to pay your bills or get on a higher bit rate or whatever it's called. But
and that's a bad day. That's just a bad day.
I know.
Yeah, that's it. That's as bad as it's been. So, hey, let me ask you, Daniel, what do you think is what do you think's a good solution to bring hockey back this year?
What's a good solution? I think in a couple of weeks. I think what they're talking about, where you pick a couple sites, you pick 3 or 4 cities that have hotels, and you get the teams there and you play. And if you charge people, I don't think people have a problem paying, $20 or whatever to watch a game. I think that's a way, because I know revenue is a big part of it, and having fans in the seats. But I mean, just playing, and I was you're reading some stuff and seeing some stuff where players are talking about how it'll be so hard to be, away from their families for a couple months. And I'm like, and I understand that. I do, because I played, and it sucks to travel, but this is also your job, and you get paid very well to do it. And for me, like talking to my wife and stuff, like you got to get back, back to some normalcy. And I look at, unfortunate as it was, like 2000, 9/11. I was in Carolina when that happened, and we were supposed to fly out and go to training camp. And Aaron Ward was, he's like, "Hey, Dare, you got to go turn on the TV." Like, what are you talking about? He's like, "I don't think we're going to camp. Like, we're staying here." So all the rookies were, they had already started camp, and their veterans are still in, we were still in Raleigh. And, I just remember with that stuff, like, remember that game in New York? I think it was like the first baseball game back, like how important that was. And I mean, it's something, it's obviously a terrible tragedy. It's a little different. It's not the same as a virus, but you just look at things like that, where that first, it was so, like, it was such a big thing that, baseball's back, America's pastime's back. So, obviously hockey's really big in Tampa and the southern states now in the US and Canada, for them to be able to get like hockey back and playing so people can watch it. Because my kids are missing it. They love playing hockey, and, they right now, like, they'd be playing spring hockey, and we'd be traveling everywhere. So, the positive is we're all together as a family, but the negative is they're missing hockey. So I think if they can do that, and the players, like, that's the gig. Like, so when I won 2 Stanley Cups, we were in the hotel. We stayed in the hotel the night before a game, and you played the next night, and you traveled. So you basically didn't really see your spouses or your wives or your kids for 2 months. It was a commitment, but it was a commitment to win a Stanley Cup. So, if the players have reservations about being away from your families, I get it. But on the more important scale of things, if they deem it safe to come back and play, it's important for society to, have sports. I saw people like, well, sports aren't important and this and that. Well, yeah, they are, because it's part of life. It's, when sports are there, it shows people that, like, things are okay almost. And, all the respect in the world to everyone that's been working, and our doctors and nurses and emergency responders. Like, one of our old trainers, Adam Rambo, he's a EMT. So we were on a Zoom call, and he left and did 2 calls when we were on a Zoom call. So then he's like, "I got to go." So it's like, the alarm's going off, and then he came back, like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, the guy, like," so he had one, unfortunately, it was an OD, but he revived him, and he came back on the Zoom call. Like, "Rambo, really?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, it happens all the time." And it was like nothing. And like, oh my God, man. Like, we're all like, so he left twice during the Zoom call. So, and he's an EMT now. Like, so you have all the respect in the world for, like, those, like, for people to do those jobs. But, they want to watch sports too. Like, it's just stuff like that in movies and entertainment. And so I think if they're able to do that, and, like, they're on top of it. So I look at the positives, where they're opening the practice facilities. I saw somewhere the King or the Lakers are going to open their practice facility. And I mean, let's be honest, like, these are billion-dollar franchises, and, they have the best of the best. And if they're looking into it, and they're not going to, risk, because if you come back too early and something happens, you got to shut down again. It's not going to be good for anybody. So just getting back to some normalcy. So I think if they can get, like, Edmonton was talked about, a city that could host, or be a host city, I guess. And it wouldn't really matter which cities. I think just having sports back, and I know you're big into hockey and stuff, and you're involved with the team. And, even for me, being a former player, like, you want to see the playoffs. Like, I posted something like, so we won the cup in 2004, and then we didn't defend. We weren't able to defend it because we had a lockout. And I remember people up in Canada they were pissed at the players, like, "You guys are greedy, you guys are selfish." And I'm like, I didn't go on strike. We're locked out. Like, I want to play. I'm happy. I just want to get paid, whatever. I want to keep going. I'm happy with that. So I think it's important in that sense of everything. Just they find some places, some neutral sites, whatever they want to call it, where they can get back and the guys can get back playing. I think that'll be huge, just for people to. There's so many people, like you see on Twitter and the interactions and stuff, and there's so many people that are passionate about the game and the players, and that's been the beauty of social media in a positive way. Is that the guys that interact with fans and stuff like that, fans love that. Like, they appreciate that so much. And Like even I've seen some of those things that what's his name? Kalorn's been doing. The
Yeah,
doc,
Doc Talk.
whatever.
Doc
Yeah,
Talk,
stuff
yeah.
like that. That's great. So, if this wouldn't have happened, he's he's a Princeton or Harvard guy or something. He's
Harvard,
Ivy
yeah.
League. Yeah, way too smart for me. But stuff like that, where his personality, where you maybe wouldn't think that. So stuff like that comes out of it. So just things like that. We need entertainment. We need things to watch. We need things to stuff like that. So I think that'll be great. And honestly, like I think this started, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but people were jealous of Canada and Canadian hockey players. So I think this might be a conspiracy because we had a distinct advantage in the northern states because we had, they call them here, they call them ODRs. I'm like, what's an ODR? And they're like, outdoor rink. It's an outdoor rink, Dad. So we had that distinct advantage. We had outdoor rinks, so we shut everything down, so we couldn't use our ODRs. So those countries are maybe a little behind Canada and the U.S. With as far as hockey,
We're catching up.
it's not even. Yeah, I know, but like, we're going to stop them from playing. They can't use their ODRs. We're all going to be on a level playing field. But that's kind of my way outlandish theory that that was a way to try to catch up with us superior hockey players. Not that I'm a superior hockey player whatsoever, but thanks for laughing. I'm totally kidding with that.
Listen, man, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. A lot of them are serious. Not a lot of them are based around, hockey and countries surpassing Canada. So I like that one. It's a fresh theory, and that's what the people need right now, Dinger. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think it was the crazy. I think it was the crazy thing that I was looking for you to say. I think we're going viral after this, and that's all I wanted out of you today.
Yeah, that's. So Latvia, this is Latvia's way of trying to catch up with us.
Yeah.
With North Americans in hockey, or Japan does, because that could be it. I don't know. I doubt it, but I just want hockey back. I want sports back. Oh,
How great is that Last Dance documentary, though?
Oh my God! Like I was telling my older boy to watch it because I love that. So I played basketball growing up, and I was a big kid and whatever. And I had the Air Jordans. Like I had those. Oh my God, they're so good. And he knew he was competitive. And you hear the stories about the gambling and this and that and whatever. And everybody gambles. Like what else are you gonna do? So we played in an era. Excuse me. Like I rode a bus in junior. Our closest trip was 3.5 hours, and we didn't have iPads and all this technology. You either watched a movie, or you read a book, or you played cards, basically. And if you lost that, and we had a coach where if you lost, you weren't watching a movie after the game. But like the gambling side of it, like what else are you gonna do? That's why like John Paxson, like we're gambling, but we're playing like $1 or whatever, and he's playing. And you put it in perspective, like he's down 100 grand. What's 100 grand to him? But he was so competitive in seeing that, and he wanted the best out of his teammates. Because I love those documentaries, like with the Oilers and stuff in the '80s and the basketball. Like I love Larry and Magic back in the day, and you listen, they talk they're so complimentary of each other. Like Magic's like, Larry brought out the best of me, man, because Larry would tell you, Larry's like, I'm gonna fake left, go right, and I'm gonna shoot. And he's like, tell him what he was gonna do, and he'd still score. He's like, I just told you what I'm gonna do, and I still scored. He's like, here's what I'm gonna do the same thing again. And he, like Larry Bird, for example, they do the same thing. So it was interesting, you get the perspectives of the great players. And so I'd watch the Bad Boys one. And so I knew a little bit about, when they talk about Jordan, like they're like, we're just going to abuse him. Like every time he comes down the lane, he's going to get it. And we're just going to make him miserable on him. So I'd heard that part of it. And then so to see and hear kind of like this part of it, like Michael Jordan's side of it, and Scottie Pippen, how he had to get tougher. And like, we're going to train. The whole team's going to train. And like when you're leader, so you look at teams that win, and like when in 2004, we had Dave Anderchuk and Sador. We had a bunch of leaders, but when you're a guy, your leader's telling you, "This is what we're doing." You're best player. And you talk about Phil Jackson coming in about, do you want to like share the ball? You got to make other players better. And so when he like knew he had to put on weight to get through Detroit, and he had to put on more muscle, he had to be more physical. And he talked to Scotty and. Like, that's what you want. Like, I look at the Capitals, like Alex Ovechkin, I was happy for him to win because he was like, when that year, like the great players, the truly great players, the Yzermans and, the Gretzkys, and they make other players around them better. But like I looked at like Washington, for example, when Alex Ovechkin's blocking shots and he's playing defense, and I'm a fourth-line guy in that team, I damn well be like diving face first in front of pucks because if he's doing it, I better be doing it. So Yeah, that last dance has been awesome just to see that perspective. And then they're showing the clips of, like interviewing one guy. Well, here's what Dennis said. Like, cause I've actually hung out with Dennis Rodman one time in Vegas at Vince Neil, at a Vince Neil concert.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a beauty. He showed up, sunglasses, Ed Hardy t-shirt. And I was like, hey, Dennis, how's it going? He's like, just making money, baby, just making money. And like, he's got the cool persona. And I said, Chelly. He's like, what? And I go, Chelly, Chris Chelios, because I met him during the lockout. We'd done some charity games, and he's like, yeah, Chelly? I said, yeah. And then all of a sudden, he was Dennis. And he was just a normal guy. And then we're like hanging out, and he's like, you want a cigar? And we're hanging out backstage. And so even like that stuff that he did, and even like he was so outlandish, but like I saw the different spectrum, like the far sides of the spectrum of that in one night at a concert, like just hanging out, and where he had that persona, and then you like, hey, so and so, and he's like, oh, okay. Because like I remember Steve Smith, my coach in my first year in Calgary, he was a longtime defenseman. He'd tell me stories about Chelios and Rodman. They'd hang out and party in Chicago and stuff. And so then you're watching the documentary where Dennis needs a vacation, right? And I don't know if I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't watched, but I'm sure everyone's like,
no, that's great. That's the best part.
Oh my God.
Gets a vacation during the season and then gets to go.
Oh my God. But like Phil Jackson, he was the ultimate manager of egos and teams where everybody knew that's what he needed. And that's the beauty of like newer coaches. I think Phil Jackson was ahead of his time, where you can't just yell and scream at everyone. Everyone's different, but like what Rodman did. But Dennis needs a vacation, and where Jordan's like, what are you talking about? He needs a vacation. Like, if he goes there, he's not coming back. Oh yeah, I gave him 48 hours, and he was like, he's not coming back. And then they're like doing the timeline. It was like 72 hours, or then it kept going. They had to go get him, and then he was back. And I don't know if you that was the old school punishment where one guy was out drinking or missed curfew. That was a big hockey thing back in the day, and you'd skate everybody, and everyone would get mad at that one guy so he wouldn't miss curfew. And they were talking about doing the laps, the chaser, where the one guy had to sprint out, and like Dennis was like, no problem. Like he was just one of those guys that could party and rebound and stuff. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. I really like, because I like that competitive side of it. And I get that the gambling, like he just wants to compete, whether it's golf or cards or whatever. Like you don't lose that. Like I still have that. Like I play against my kids. I want to beat them.
Yeah,
like,
you got a competition problem. We were talking about the last dance. You hung out with Dennis Rodman. I don't think it gets cooler than that. So we'll end on that note today. Chris Dingman, thank you very much. Make sure if people want the Stout gloves, where do they go?
Just go online, www.stoutgloves.ca or US or .com.
Or just go Ding Dish on Twitter. He's on TikTok. He's on Instagram. He's producing videos. He's got content left and right. He's taking – I know he doesn't like it. He's the next time music video producer. Look for him. Adele, Bruno Mars, all the big-time stars, maybe even Celine Dion, a Canadian classic, will call on you to produce something for her after they've seen your quarantine TikTok videos.
So I'll give you one little teaser. So if you're ever going to have me on again, I did play drums with Garth Brooks in Vegas one time at the Coliseum at Caesars. So that's for next time.
That's for next. We're going to get there. Guess what? There's going to be a next time. Okay. Cause we're doing this podcast as long as the hockey season goes. And I feel like it's going to go for a while. So I'll need you back on, Dinger. And I'll go use some public Wi-Fi or something like that. So we don't have so many screw ups next time.
It's my end. Cause I'm way up here in the Great White North where we barely have running water, to be honest with you. I'm just happy I have electricity today because it's so different up here. I'm kidding.
Thanks, Dinger. Stay safe, man, and I'll talk to you soon.
You're welcome, buddy. Have a great day.
Yeah.